Today I'd love to share on the pain of parenting and a possible way forward for those of us who have children and who have found this lockdown experience to be deeply challenging, where we've been tested in every single area, and often we haven't come out like we had hoped it would be, and maybe we've reacted in anger, maybe we've put in things in place that actually are unfair, or maybe we've put too much pressure on our children, etc., etc. And so as we watch our children maybe struggle with this whole situation, maybe struggle with homeschooling, maybe struggle with the way that they listen or show respect, or because they're all going through their own stress and their own challenges. As a parent, when you love your kids so much, it's actually so hard, because it's hard to see them struggling, or it's hard to see them hurting, or it's hard to deal with all the different reactions that they have and that they face in life. And so it can cause parents all sorts of pain, and maybe the kids are running riot and they're not obedient at the moment, and they don't want to listen, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to do this, and this is unfair, and all the different things that we hear from children. And it can be so emotionally draining and so exhausting, and often just cause us deep amounts of pain, as it's so hard sometimes. And of course there's great joy in parenting. There's lots of fun and laughter and amazing memories and experiences to be had as a family, as parents, but often it's damn hard. And when we see our children suffer or struggle, it's so painful. But one of the areas I'd love to just maybe propose a way forward is what we often do, what I do when our kids are struggling and being disobedient and just, whatever it is to, I try to control. And I don't know if you ever do this, because I think that if I control them and I put strict measures in place and boundaries and rules and regulations, that if I control them, then they'll obey those rules and laws that we make. And then they'll behave better, which means I won't have to react in anger to the continuous reality of not listening or disobeying, which means I'll feel better about myself, and then I'll feel like a better parent. But actually, the very thing I do to control them is the very thing that actually makes it worse, because kids are kids and they cannot be controlled. Neither can anybody, for that matter. And so what happens is, when we put in these mechanisms to control in order to avoid our own anger, our own reactions, our own fears, our own anxieties, the kids, of course, end up breaking those things that we put in place, which leaves us more frustrated and more angry. And so what I've discovered, and I don't know if this will help you, but I've just discovered that if I let go of control and surrender that control to God and allow Him to work in them, but continue to love them, of course, with boundaries and within reason, and the more I work on my own response to their behavior, in my own character, in my own reactions, in my own dealings with the kids, the more I realize they're kids, the more I'm able just to have grace and compassion and empathy for them, and to let go of the small stuff. And obviously we clear on the things that are not acceptable, and of course that remains. But I've just discovered, if I want to have less pain, and if I want to have less anger over how I react, I'm the one who has to change. I cannot expect my children to change and to work on all their stuff and to deal with the stuff that they struggle with, but yet I'm the one who's still shouting or reacting in anger to their constant stuff. And so just to say, if you want less pain parenting, we have to learn and go on our own journey of what it means to become a parent who is less angry, actually, and who doesn't react and respond to the challenges of parenting. And ultimately, I don't believe that this is possible without Jesus. I have discovered that when I try to parent well, when I try to be a good husband, when I try to whatever it is in my own strength, in my own willpower, I continue to fail again and again and again. But it is when I invite Jesus into my life, when I follow him, when I learn to obey him, when I learn to live in his kingdom, allowing his Spirit to empower me, and allowing his Spirit to do in me what I cannot do for myself, allowing his Spirit, as I spend time with Jesus, to change my mindset and my narratives and my reactions and my responses and my strategies to how I love and deal with my kids, so that I face less pain. I discover that with Jesus, this starts to happen. And of course, this is not an overnight journey. This is a lifelong journey. But with Jesus, we really can be transformed. Our hearts, our minds, our souls, which then transforms our character, which then transforms our parenting and how we respond to life and to our kids, which then creates far less pain. Because often our pain is due to our expectations of our kids. And then when it's not met, we feel pain, we feel hurt, we feel whatever we feel. And so that's the invitation, to move from the pain of parenting to the purpose of parenting. And we are purposed to help raise them as soldiers and as warriors in the army of God, to be a blessing, to bring hope, to bring life, to bring love to those that they interact with each day. So I hope this is helpful. If it is, share it. If you like the video, subscribe to Alive Vineyard Church YouTube channel. There's not a ton of stuff there, but we're going to continue to be adding stuff. So do look out for that. Take care.